One of my closest friends and I took a 9,000-mile road trip around the USA, Mexico, and Canada. This is the 7th episode of that crazy story, so stick around. Let's get into it. Roll that intro. Hi all, Keith here. Welcome to the video. Before we go too much further, make sure you pause the video and click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you didn't see the last episode of the story, I'll go ahead and link it up here. Maybe watch that and come back to this one. But just a quick recap. In the last episode, I told you about our crazy experience with a hotel in Houston, Texas. Told you about the wild time we had in New Orleans. And we ended at a frat house in Florida State University. When I left you, we were actually heading to one of my favorite southern towns. What's that town, you might ask? It's Savannah, Georgia. I had never personally been there, but when we drove in, we saw these old buildings and this Spanish moss hanging from all the trees, and I was just hooked. I don't remember us actually planning on staying in Savannah that night, but just looking at the town when we drove in, we were just hooked, so we found a Hilton and booked a room. From the cobblestone roads to the squares everywhere, there's something I just can't describe about Savannah. It's magical. We spent the day exploring and the night relaxing in our hotel room, and then the next day we headed off to Beaufort, South Carolina. One of our friends was actually at a military base there in Beaufort. We met him at his house and he actually took us on a tour of his base. It was pretty cool. I'd never been on a military base like that, but it was neat to walk in and see like the F-16s in the hangars and meet his friends that all were there in the military with him. It was pretty cool. We ended the day taking the sights and sounds of Beaufort, and I think we ate at like a seafood restaurant that night. It was really good. Then we headed back to our friend's house to reminisce. The next day we got up and decided to head on out. So the whole plan was to drive up the East Coast, but those plans changed actually, because back in 2003 when we were doing this trip, there was actually a couple of guys who were like shooting people off of overpasses somewhere up the East Coast. Like I think around Washington, D.C. area, Virginia, something like that. So we decided to alter our plans and we headed up to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now I'd been to Chattanooga before because my aunt and uncle lived there, but I didn't really remember a whole lot about it. When we rolled into town, we found the aquarium downtown, which was pretty neat, so we went there. And the aquarium's like right on the river that runs down through there, so we walked around and explored the river area in downtown and even ate at a local restaurant in downtown. We wanted to stay there because we saw these signs for like Ruby Falls, but it was getting late, so we decided to book a room at this Holiday Inn in town, and it was pretty cool. Now, you might be like, what was so cool about the Holiday Inn? Well, you could actually literally stay in train cars at the Holiday Inn. It was pretty neat, but they didn't have any when we booked the room because it was like a last minute thing, so we ended up in a standard hotel room, but it was still really nice. And the next day we went out to Ruby Falls and took the cave tour. Now after seeing Carlsbad Caverns and Mammoth Caves, Ruby Falls wasn't really like overly exciting, but it was still pretty cool to see. And the thing that makes it cool is the falls, right? They have like a falls inside and they light it up with different colors, hence Ruby Falls. Anyway, we left Chattanooga and headed up to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. On our way to Gatlinburg, we drove through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We made sure to stop often so we could enjoy the beautiful views. We got into Gatlinburg, and can I just say that Gatlinburg has like almost always been one of my favorite vacation destinations in the United States, and this time was no exception. We stayed at the Bearskin Lodge, ate at the Peddler, rode the Skylift, and just in general enjoyed Gatlinburg. The next day we headed through Pigeon Forge, and I don't remember stopping many places because back in 2003, Pigeon Forge was really like strip balls and go-kart tracks. Maybe a little putt-putt. But I do remember we stopped at the Incredible Christmas Place because I love that store. After the Incredible Christmas Place, we talked about where should we go next. The plan was always just go with the flow and see where it takes us. But after 15 days on the road, we were just tired and ready to be off the road. So we headed back to Connersville, Indiana, where it all began. And that was it. 9,000 plus miles, 15 days, and less than $800 spent. Sure, we had to sleep in the car sometimes, with friends and family other times, and not always at the best hotels, but honestly, it added to the lure of it all. Would I do it again? 100% yes. And looking back on it, the real reason is we spend most of our days in a routine, day in and day out, right? Not that that's all bad, but this trip taught me that living spontaneously, even just for 2 weeks, does the soul good. I mean, travel itself helps us learn about places and people in different parts of the country and things we've only read and seen about online. We learn things about ourselves and each other out there on the open road. And Phil and I made memories that will last a lifetime, and for that, I'm forever grateful. So get out there, live your lives, be spontaneous, drive around the country, maybe after things get a little less crazy, and see and experience. You'll thank yourself for taking that leap of faith. Alright everyone, make sure you hang out for just a little bit longer because we'll have some end cards with some video suggestions and we'd love it if you'd watch another video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Click the join button down there below to find out all the benefits of becoming a member of the channel. If you want a little less commitment but still want to support the channel, consider heading over to our Ko-fi page. It's a way for you to drop us like a virtual tip. Any way you choose to support the channel, we really appreciate it. Alright everyone, we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace and love.